A single candle burns in a forgotten cell. Wax pools like melted bone. Shadows cling to the walls like unspoken fears. And in the hush of old stone and older secrets, a faint voice stirs. A voice that should not exist. A voice erased from every record. A voice buried by the church 600 years ago. If you hear me, it whispers, then the silence has finally broken. Tonight, you listen to the last testimony of Brother Lucien, a monk condemned not for sin, but for seeing too much. This is his confession, his truth, his warning. And once you hear it, it becomes yours. Chapter 1: The Making of a Heretic. The monastery of Saint Avitus stood like a scar on the spine of the Pyrenees. Wind carved through its open arches. Snow clung to its stones until late spring, and silence hung over it like a law older than scripture. Brother Lucien arrives there as a boy, 14, barefoot, thin as a willow branch, driven up the mountain by his uncle, a stern mason who believed a quiet boy is a dangerous thing. The monks saw something in Lucien that frightened them more than any demon. Curiosity. Not the loud, argumentative kind, but the soft, wandering kind. The kind that keeps a child awake at night wondering why stars blink, or why prayers require so many rules, or why God speaks in riddles instead of answers. The monastery had a discipline for such children. Hammer their questions into silence. Polish their minds until they reflected only obedience. Teach them that holiness was not understanding, but submission. The first lesson Lucien learned was that silence could be a cage. The second was that some cages feel like home until you notice the bars. Brother Lucien's early years were spent copying scripture, hour after hour, bent over vellum, feather quill trembling in ink made from soot and gall. His fingers blistered, his back cramped, his eyes burned from candlelight. But what pained him most were the margins, tiny scratches, edits, words crossed out and replaced, entire verses rearranged across centuries. Once, he found two versions of the same passage copied by different scribes decades apart. One spoke of mercy, the other of judgment. Lucien approached the prior, a tall, stone-faced man who moved as though the floor bowed to him. "Father," Lucien asked softly, "why are the texts different?" The prior studied them with an expression that felt like they'd pressed just beneath the skin. "Because truth," he said, "does not change, but the words?" Do not question words, the prior snapped. Question yourself. Lucien bowed his head, but something inside him, something small and right, refused to bow. He found the forbidden shelf by accident, a narrow alcove behind a wooden partition, so cluttered with dust and cobwebs that the brothers believed only spiders lived there. Lucien bumped it one evening while carrying candles. A board shifted, a draught of cold air escaped, and behind it, he saw a stack of scrolls wrapped in linen. He should have told someone. He did not. Instead, he pulled one scroll out and unrolled it beneath his robe. Inside were verses unlike anything he had ever copied. If God is everywhere, why do you seek Him in buildings? If God speaks, why do you listen only to men? His heart pounded so hard, he feared someone would hear it. He rolled the scroll back up, placed it where it had been, walked away with shaking hands. But that night, he could not sleep, because the questions he asked in secret had been written by someone centuries before him. Someone who had also wondered, also doubted, also seen the cracks where the truth tried to shine through. Lucien realized that doubt did not make him a sinner. It made him a descendant, and the lineage he belonged to was older than the church. Lucien soon noticed patterns the other monks did not see. A passage repeated with different endings. A song slightly reworded. A parable softened in one version, sharpened in another. His teacher, Brother Allard, once caught him comparing texts. "What are you looking for, Lucien?" he asked. Lucien's voice was barely a whisper. "For the truth." Brother Allard's face softened, just for a moment. Then the softness vanished. "You'll never find it," he said. "Not because it's not there, but because men have buried it too deep." Lucien did not know what he meant, but he felt it. The monastery was not a sanctuary, it was a graveyard, a place where truths went to be suffocated. And the older monks, they were gravekeepers, preserving silence, not answers. That night, Lucien returned to the forbidden shelf and found the fragment that would destroy his life. Chapter 2: The Buried Gospel. It was winter when the gospel found him. Snow piled against the scriptorium windows. Wind howled like wolves searching for warmth. Lucien sat hunched over his desk, copying a psalter when a loose page fluttered out. It was thin as onion skin, edges frayed, ink faded almost to nothing. But the words, "Split the wood, and you will find me. Lift the stone, and I am there." This was not scripture. This was conversation, the voice of someone who had not written to command, but to awaken. Lucien traced the lines with trembling fingerprints. This was not a gospel written for institutions. It was a gospel written for the soul. And it was signed, the twin. Brother Matthew noticed the change in Lucien before anyone else. Matthew was a novice, only 13 when he joined the monastery, but his eyes were sharp, almost too alive for a place drowning in obedience. "You're reading things you shouldn't," Matthew whispered one evening. Lucien froze. But Matthew pulled a small scrap of parchment from his sleeve. A symbol was drawn on it, a flame doubling back onto itself. "The hidden brethren," Matthew said. "There were monks before us, seekers, mystics, scribes, who collected forbidden texts." Lucien stared, stunned. Matthew leaned closer. "We are not the first to question," he whispered. "We're just the first to be caught." Lucien's breath shook. "Where did you find that?" "A crypt stair," Matthew said. "Behind the stones." And thus began the most dangerous friendship of Lucien's life. They met in secret, between vigils, beneath staircases, behind the old herbal storeroom. Matthew brought hidden fragments. Lucien brought questions. Slowly, the forbidden gospel took shape. A gospel with no miracles, no hierarchy, no threats of hell, no promises of paradise. Just a quiet, unnervingly honest spirituality. The kingdom is not above you. The kingdom is within you. If you seek God in temples, you will miss him. Truth is not taught, it is remembered. To Lucien, these were not just words, they were oxygen. But oxygen feeds fire, and fire attracts attention. The first sign came subtly, a quill missing from his desk, his favorite vellum sheet gone. A candle in his cell moved 2 inches from where he left it. Someone had entered his room. Someone was watching. Lucien warned Matthew, "We must be careful." Matthew smiled, grave, foolish. Care has never protected truth. But the monastery was ancient. Its walls remembered everything. And one night, Lucien woke to find Matthew's bed empty. His robe folded, his sandals placed neatly, his rosary wrapped around the bedpost. Lucien shook the nearest monk awake. "Where is Brother Matthew?" The monk's expression was cold. "Transferred." No monks were transferred. Not without farewell. Not without ceremony. Transferred was the word monastery used when someone vanished. Lucien understood. Matthew had been taken, interrogated, broken, silenced, because of the gospel, because of him. Lucien spent that night sitting on the floor of the chapel, staring at the crucifix. Something in him cracked. Not his faith, but his fear. Chapter 3: The Vision That Ended a Faith. The trial came at dusk. The monks formed a half circle in the chapel, hoods drawn low. The air was cold enough to sting Lucien's lungs. The prior stepped forward. "Brother Lucien," he said, "you are charged with seeking forbidden knowledge, spreading hearsay, and corrupting a young soul." Lucien's voice was hoarse. "I sought truth. You sowed doubt." Lucien lifted his chin. Should truth not withstand a question? A murmur rippled through the monks. The prior's face hardened. "You will remain in silence," he said, "until you remember obedience." Two brothers seized Lucien by the arms, and they dragged him into the depths. The cell was carved into the mountain itself, a room so old that the monastery had been built atop it, a place with no window, no torch, just darkness. The door slammed, bolts scrapped shut. Silence smothered him whole. Lucien collapsed to the floor. He prayed, he cried, he whispered the gospel fragments. He recited every memory of Matthew, but the silence grew heavier. It pressed into his ears, his spine, his ribs. Time dissolved, his hunger sharpened, his mind thinned. And then came the night when the silence broke. Lucien saw the walls breathe, saw the stones pulse like a living organism, saw shadows brand themselves into strange shapes. He closed his eyes, but the vision did not fade. Instead, a voice, not his, not human, spoke. "Lucien, do you wish to see?" He could not speak. The voice continued. "Close your eyes." He did, and the world fell away. Lucien saw a tree, impossibly vast. Its branches held constellations, its roots wrapped around bones older than scripture. Leaves glimmered with names, people alive, people dead, people forgotten. And on one branch hung a man, bleeding, eyes open. Lucien thought it was Christ, until the face turned. It was his own. Not suffering, but awakening. The tree pulsed with a truth he had always suspected. God was not above. God was not below. God was within. Within trees, within stars, within breath, within the self. The voice whispered, "The kingdom was never lost, only hidden by those who feared its simplicity." Lucien collapsed into tears because now he understood the gospel was not forbidden because it was false. It was forbidden because it freed, and freedom was the greatest threat. Chapter 4. The monk who refused to die. When Lucien awoke, he was lying on the cold stone floor. His vision throbbed, his body ached, but his mind was clear, crystal clear. He crawled to the wall, dipped his finger into soot from the ceiling, mixed it with blood from his cracked fingertips, and began writing. Not in Latin, not in church's tongue, but in raw, urgent human truth. He wrote, "Faith that fears inquiry is control." He wrote, "The soul is the first scripture." He wrote, "They erase names. They cannot erase fire." He filled the walls, the floor, even parts of the ceiling he could reach by standing on his toes. Every word carved from pain and clarity. He did not write to be remembered. He wrote to make forgetting impossible. When the monks finally opened the cell, they found him collapsed beneath his final message. Silence is not the absence of truth. It is the grave in which they bury it. Lucien was dead. Thin, frozen, hands stained black from soot. The prior ordered the cell sealed, bricked up, erased from every ledger. The monks called him heretic, blasphemer, dangerous, and for centuries that would have been the end. But truth is patient. Stone remembers, and walls eventually crack. In 1911, archaeologists uncovered the ruins of Saint Avitus. Among the rubble, they found a sealed chamber, and when they broke through, stale air rushed out, carrying a whisper of soot and forgotten words. Inside, a skeleton in tattered habit. Walls covered in writing. A blackened bowl of soot. A broken quill. And a story the church had tried to suffocate. One scholar fainted, another wept. A third tried to hide his trembling hands. They called it the heretic's gospel. The church tried to seize the writings, tried to silence the discovery. But one archaeologist, Elise Durand, copied the entire text before officials arrived. And she shared it, quietly, privately, hand to hand, mind to mind, until the truth, Lucien's truth, slipped into the modern world like a candle carried through centuries of darkness. Now it reaches you, the final confession of a monk who refused to bow. A man the church erased, a seeker buried alive, His last words to you are simple. If you carry this flame, then I am not dead. The candle fades, the shadows return, but something inside you, a flicker, a spark, refuses to go out, because now you carry his fire.